So I've recorded this once, but I think things need to be said about this specific situation because I know the Rewired Soul isn't a hot topic anymore, really, but this man has continuously made a fool of himself and degraded other people who have dared to speak against the marvelous Chris Boutte. So basically, here's the situation. Taylor Nicole Dean, another YouTuber, has recently left rehab for heroin addiction. Um, she, after leaving rehab, posted about a relationship she began with a man she met in rehab. Now, whether or not this is a smart decision is not what we're discussing here. What we are discussing here is the fact that Chris Boutte, the Rewired Soul YouTuber, mental health YouTuber, just cannot seem to let this go. He continuously bashes her for making the wrong decisions for recovery, and then has the audacity to claim it's for her benefit as well as the world's benefit. The ego on this man, or the ego this man presents, is not attractive. So basically, that's the situation. He makes this video, and people tell him to knock it off because the thumbnail he made was incredibly clickbaity. Had the Instagram kept post with just like rehab romance and Chris's face, just making an upset picture, making an upset face, and like, it's not a good look. I'm gonna be quite frank, because I don't know who Chris Boutte thinks he is to have the right to say what is the correct way for recovery for any person besides himself. So he makes that video, and then people are like, stop it, because it's not cute, it's not nice, and quite frankly, it's not his business. So Chris responds with a video called "We Need to Stop Enabling Taylor Nicole Dean." And within the first 5 minutes of this video, this is a little side note, but it's a little spicy, he decides to begin the video with the words, "We just lost Etika, and y'all haven't learned anything," or something along those lines, I'm paraphrasing. He starts a video like that, and then, I'm just gonna say it, I do not see a correlation. Etika had a full-on mental breakdown on stream, and then people continuously ridiculed him and made fun of him for months afterward, and eventually pushed him to take his own life. People telling you, Chris, to stop talking and judging someone else's recovery is not the same as them putting clown emojis under a person's post every single time they say something online. There's a difference. Okay, Chris, I'm just gonna say it, keep Etika's name out of your mouth unless you have a very good reason for saying it. So he makes that, and then he makes the point. He says out loud that he knows he will not be able to change whether or not Taylor Nicole Dean remains sober. He knows he will not be able to affect that, which I would argue he is able to affect that in the way that his constant ESPN commentary on her, like she's the fucking Raiders and they're talking about how bad her season has been. His constant commentary cannot possibly benefit her sobriety and may be detrimental to it. I'm just gonna go out and say that opinion. So yeah, I think he could negatively affect it, but I do not think his commentary will positively affect her sobriety. I do not think, so he says this, and then he gets mad at us for not talking about it, for not talking about Taylor Nicole Dean's sobriety, and he tells us that we should be talking about it, and we shouldn't be enabling her bad decisions. And to be quite honest, how, Chris, if we are talking about it and we do tell her how bad her decisions have been, how are we possibly, if you can't affect her, and nothing you say will affect her, how is what we say going to affect her? Like, what purpose would there be in yelling at Taylor Nicole Dean that she's making wrong choices for recovery? I do not see the reasoning behind this, and I think Chris may have accidentally contradict himself. It's almost like he knows that he's not doing the right thing, but he has deluded himself into thinking that discussing someone's mental health or discussing someone's recovery, like there's a checklist of right and wrongs, like a Venn diagram of how to recover correctly, is something you should do and can positively benefit people. So what happens next is Taylor Nicole Dean quote tweets that video and goes, "Hey, don't talk about me." That's a paraphrase as well. To which Chris Boutte, the Rewired Soul, responds with, "Then be a better example for recovery." Bitch, you have no right to talk, like, stop. Holy shit. Chris, it's not her job to be a better example for recovery. That is not her job. Her job is to recover and not do heroin again. She doesn't have to set an example for anything that is not her responsibility. Her only responsibility in this moment is to remain sober and not do heroin. I don't know how to... This is so stupid. So, Chris Boutte will attack this woman constantly online. And to be quite frank, if it wasn't about money, and if it wasn't about monetization, one, his videos would not be monetized. Two, he could talk about these things just as easily without ever bringing up Taylor Nicole Dean's name. But he continually chooses to grab her name and drag it through the mud, because it's the only way he'll get views. So if he truly cared about any of the things he's discussing, I do not see a reason for him to talk about it with her name, because he already knows that he will not change her. He cannot ensure that she will remain sober. He knows this. He stated this in his "We Need to Stop Enabling ... video. So he knows this. He's aware. But he chooses to continually say her name, and I can't imagine why. No, he does it because he wants the monetization, and he does not care about this girl, because if he did, he would stop talking about her when he said he did, when she asked him to. Sorry. And it's so mind-boggling to me that this man who claims to be an addiction a recovery advocate, or whatever fluffy titles he wants to proclaim upon himself, it's amazing that he has the balls to call himself that, but refuses to allow someone to recover at their own pace. He doesn't know her. He's never met her. None of us know her. None of us have met her. So none of us have the right to commentate on her recovery. We do not know whether or not she is working her program behind the scenes. We do not know what she's doing. We do not know her. So Chris, who does not know her, who does not know if she's working her program, does not have a right to talk about her. Done. Quick. Fixed her situation. So Chris, if you do not know a person and they have told you to stop, you should not talk about them online. I know it's a controversial, you should not talk about their mental health online. I know it's a controversial opinion to say that, but I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there, Chris, because you're looking like an asshole. Continuing forward, under that tweet thread where he basically tells her to be a better example, he only there's lots of responses under it, and I think it's very telling that the only responses he responds to are the ones that take a very wishy-washy approach to telling him he's wrong. One of which I saw that he responded to was a fan who basically said, "Hey, it's disappointing that you continue to talk about this." And he responded very sternly to her about enabling, again, because that's his favorite way of justifying his activity. To which, once she gave a stronger response, being like, "No, this is wrong," Chris felt the need to not respond at all. The other one I saw, because by this point, after I saw the second response, I wanted to make this video. The second one I saw was that there was a woman who clearly had a very deep religious belief, who basically said, with removing all the Jesus stuff, was, don't judge other people. And Chris gave one of the most pretentious responses I think he possibly could have, and said, my last video was for you. It's amazing this man can read his Twitter from the high horse he sits on. So I don't understand where I don't understand how he convinces himself that he has the right and moral obligation to talk about these things, because he doesn't. He doesn't have any of the above, but whatever. I just wish he would stop it, and I needed a way to vent, so that's why I made this video. You can subscribe to this channel if you want it again, but quite frankly, I may never make another YouTube video again, so it doesn't matter. Have an excellent weekend. Goodbye.